This is Brian, and welcome back to Final Fantasy X. I'm still working on getting Yuna and Lulu built up so that we can fight Jumbo Clan more efficiently. And for that, we are ready for another round of Don Tonberry. Just take 5 hits from Waka to take him out here. And that'll get me about 40 to 43 sphere levels for the girls. And if you haven't been following along in this and you don't know the setup for Don Tonberry, if you go back to some of my previous playthrough or my previous episodes on this, I have it all outlined in there. It's a matter of farming for the right weapon drops and then customizing them so that you transfer your overdrive to AP. I don't know how many people would start a playthrough like this in the middle, but I would imagine maybe some will. That's why I kind of repeat myself on some of these things, because you never know what's going to get recommended to people on YouTube. $42 each. So far I've been doing it where I just do one round of Don Tonberry and then do the Spear Grid stuff. I think I'm just going to do 2 in a row now. 2 in a row now, though. Tongue-tied for some reason there. And we'll get it up to 84 levels, roughly. And that should be enough to have them finish off what I want them to do. And have some left over probably so that I can move them around after we get the MP, or not the MP, the magic spheres that I get from Jumbo Clan. I'd gotten to the point where I was used to having to defend with Lulu twice to skip her turn there to get it to Waka. And of course then it didn't need to. So I ended up skipping Waka's turn. We should still be able to take care of the little green psychopath before he gets too close to us. Don't know if we have enough figures to go much further here, but Let's see what we can do before I have to stop and farm some other stuff. Oh yeah, we're still okay, I guess, for a little while. Except on the fortune, maybe. Don't remember how many I kept. The answer would be 0. Not really sure which way I would want to go with her first here anyway. I think, yeah, just have to finish this first and then backtrack and go into this. So I'll do that here first, and then we'll back out and do a couple of Earth Eater fights. I had said towards the end last time that I think we're pretty much done with that as far as Lulu and Yuna are concerned. So if I get like 3 fights and do 6 of them, hopefully that'll be plenty to top me off for now and take care of my needs. Yeah, this is getting to be old hat at this point. Alright, 1 down, 2 to go. At least it certainly should be. Such an ugly beast, huh? Wonder what the 2 tongues are for. Maybe it's to help in grabbing things? I don't know. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. Waka's first hit must have not done maximum damage, because Riku's hit didn't knock it over. So I guess if Waka's not at full strength, that doesn't work quite as well here. what I wanted, so another attack reel coming up. Once again, I wanted to exit there, but sometimes I think I tapped the button twice to get to exit, but no, it was just once to get to chat. Just figured since Walker didn't do as much damage last time, if he wasn't at full health, I would just touch the save sphere to get the full health here. It was another Walker anyway, though, so it didn't matter. Okay, this should do it. And then we'll have a lot of time in the sphere grid. Well, until we run out of something again. And by the end of the day, I would think I should be able to start some jumbo plant farming. At least that's the goal. And depending on how long those fights take then, since it still takes a while to cast Ultima that many times, I don't know if I'll be able to finish that up in another episode or not. Actually, we'll leave this party in because the next thing I'll have to do will probably be to farm for strength or magic or something. We were doing Lulu, so let's go back to her. Lulu and Yuna say hello to each other on their sphere grids here. Then Lulu turns around. She's gonna get a bunch of that strength down here in this one. We'll get her built up there. Oh, no, I didn't mean to say yes to that. I was gonna back out because I moved farther than I wanted to. Wasted a spear level. Down to 20 for power. And I guess then let's go back up here first. Had to use like 8 or 9 spirit levels to get back there. It's not the worst, but we are getting down already, so I might actually have to do another Don Tomberry. It's looking more and more like it here. Guess I underestimated how much I had left to go, or how quickly they go or get used up. I think I'll go up around here first, because then I'll come back and pick up this one, because that's probably going to be the way I need to go to backtrack anyway, the way it looks. Because the rest of the stuff that I don't have activated yet is kind of separated off here for her, with the way I ended up taking her here. Oh, did I go too far? I missed that one. I thought I landed on a place where I could activate all the ones around there, but oh well. Wasn't paying enough attention, I guess. Yeah, the Gnolls. Even though they're a fairly early low-level one, even later in the game, they could still be pretty effective and useful. If you're going against an elemental type of enemy. Well, let's move here first. And see how far I could get from here in any given direction. If I come here, from there, Well, actually no, because that doesn't connect to this. Actually, I'm gonna bite the bullet and just use one of these, I think. Now, what's the best place to return to as far as keep going? Well, either here or here, probably. Although I think I'd rather finish over there, because that'll put her closer to where Waka's at and where I'm gonna keep going and putting my magic spheres in. Alright, that's as far as we're gonna go. I still have a few power left, so we can start Yuna's, but I'm fairly certain we're gonna run out before she's done. For her, it's gonna go over here, down here, and up there. Make sure I don't get those when I'm coming by. Over into this one, and I guess we'll end here. So I guess she's gonna end pretty close to where she was over here anyway. So that didn't matter as much. Oh well. Might need 2 more Don Tom berries though, because that is still quite a bit of ground to cover. And she needs to backtrack to somewhere. She's already done all this side over here. And where the hell was she? Yeah, I couldn't think at the moment what the button was to go back to where she was there. So I just backed out. Yeah, this is pretty close. Down to 4 power. And I see at least 3 or 4 pretty close coming up here. There's the last power. And either way I go here, she's going to have power spheres coming up anyway. But which way's the best route to go here? I mean, overall, I could go either way. I think I'm gonna head down here first, though. And we'll unlock what we can. Okay, what do I need? Oh, I can do a speed and an ability. I probably don't need them for the girls right now, but I'll need them for other people later anyway. So a speed, an ability, 2 mana, 2 power. Let's get them healed up before we go in. Actually, I thought of one other thing I want to do quick. For Fafnir, I wanted to take that super armor off of her. Just so she doesn't get as many turns in. I would think a sane enemy in a game like this, when they had somebody like Waka just beating on them like that, would run away. Maybe that's part of being a monster, though. They're not sane. Or their instincts to defend a territory or to attack threats overrides everything else. One more power. No, not the mix. Waiting for Waka's attack reels. Here he goes. Okay, good. Not hitting Waka, so filling up that overdrive. And hopefully we take it out before he gets his next turn. Waka's got like, what, 6 turns? Yeah, 4 more before the boss. Or the enemy, I guess, I don't know. If you would consider these arena enemies bosses. I mean, since they are tougher than most of the bosses, I kind of do, but Okay, now as long as I don't get the wrong drop, this should take care of the mana. Then I just need a speed and an ability. Or I want that, I guess I should say. Don't specifically need them at the moment. But while we're doing this, I might as well get them. They keep hitting Kamari, which I'm fine with as long as it's not Waka. Building up that overdrive works for me. I don't know, Waka might have had one less turn this time. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. We're not going to get him before he gets a turn here. I mean, since he can still barely scratch Waka, it's not that big of a deal. Just waste a couple of Phoenix Downs. Okay, last Fafnir for now. And I should be able to use attack reels, so it should go pretty quickly. There we go. Let's sell off the weapons I've been getting dropped here. Nothing's going to be worth that much from these guys, but the Earth Eater might have dropped something. I wasn't paying attention. That was from him, I think. So, not the biggest value drops, but still not bad. Before I forget to do it, let's swap that back to the Impervious. Let's go back to Yuna. Might as well go over here and grab these next. I feel like I kind of use Dark Attack early on against some of the bosses and stuff like that. But once I get towards the end of the game and I get stuff like Zombie Attack, and never really use that. I use Petrify as a weapon ability sometimes. But I guess in Final Fantasy or other RPGs, I've never been the biggest on using stats anyway. Status attacks. I know sometimes I should use a few more of them. Like I've been going through Dragon Warrior. I'm on number 4 now, and I do realize that sleep does really work pretty well in those games sometimes. It's just that, like in the first game, if you only have one party member and you use it and it misses, well then there was your turn. Okay, where do I have to go now to get to some place I haven't been? Back up to here? Because if I go this way, I gotta go like all the way over here. So I think the better move is to just go back up here. That's still quite a bit of a backtrack, but I was gonna have to do more Don Tomberry anyway. We still got quite a bit of time left for today though, so I might just do 2 more Don Tomberries this time, and hope that that's good enough to leave some extras and everything. All right. We're gonna go down. That's a dead end, so do that, and then come down here and over here. I kind of feel like I want to go down through there and do that, and then I'll just go up this way and grab this stuff, and then backtrack. Instead of like shooting over here and doing it, There's going to be backtracking here either way, so yeah, that's the plan. At this rate, though, if we do have any time for Jumbo Plan, we're not going to get too many of those fights in today, if at all. I'm still optimistic that we can get there, but going to be cutting it close. Was it one more, I think? Down he goes. Well, let's set it up for one more. Preemptive strike for what it's worth. It's still a little ways off, but I was doing a little more thinking too about which Final Fantasy game I want to play next. My targets were on just to keep them in order, kind of. And keep going, kind of going mainline. Final Fantasy 12, but I also thought with that, maybe I should do Tactics before 12, because Tactics came out first, and they are technically in the same world, and they do have some of the same kind of lore used in them and stuff like that. Although I know it's not that tied together that you really have to have played one to play the other and it makes any difference, but I think I'm going to do Tactics first. There's also 10-2. I kind of feel like I'd rather give the world of Final Fantasy X a little separation and come back for 10-2 afterwards. So maybe Tactics and then 12 and then 10-2. Because even though they are in the same, it's the same world type of thing again, but 10-2 really kind of, you reuse this Final Fantasy X's world, whereas Tactics and 12, it's the same world in name, but it's not like you're visiting the same places and it looks the same or anything like that, so I don't know. It's just my thoughts on it. Let's keep moving. Also, a problem with tactics is that the fights in that game can take a really long time since it's a tactical RPG. And it'll be a little harder to separate the episodes that way if I try to keep them at an hour. Like, most of the fights won't take over an hour, but I mean, depending on what cutscenes you get and where you're at, could go over a little bit. What I'd probably do is I'll probably try not to leave any cliffhangers in the middle of a battle if I can help it. And if it's only going to be like 10 minutes, I'll do that. I'll go like an hour and 10. But if it's going to be more than that, I might have to cut it off in the middle. Because the time of the videos matters in a couple of senses to me. For one, it's just the amount of time I have available tends to work out better that way. And also, I know the YouTube algorithms tend to be more favorable if you're more consistent on the length of your videos, I think. I mean, not that I'm a huge channel or anything like that, but I'm just going on what I've heard and what I know and trying to do the best I can to build it up. We're gonna have enough levels to get all the way around and finish this out. I don't know, she's already gone through quite a few of them here already. Getting close to half done. I think I might have underestimated again. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was an empty one up there or not, so I thought I'd just move her there in case I needed to activate it. But it was empty, so... Guess let's go down and do this first. And then we'll go down and do these, although we're going to have to backtrack a little bit. I'll finish off everything in this circle first. Yeah, I don't think there's any way she's gonna have enough. We would need one more Don Tomberry fight, I think. And by the time I do Yuna's, probably not gonna have enough time for that today. Maybe, though. But certainly no Jumbo Flan today, it doesn't look like. There'll be plenty of it tomorrow, then. Yeah, she's not quite gonna have enough. Like 10 or 12 more levels would probably be enough, but I guess we'll see where I'm at after I use up these 6. And then I'll zoom out and look around and make sure I didn't skip anything. Might need more power by the time I get done with Yuna's. Okay, yep, I think it should just be this little bit here that I need to do with her. And then after I'm done with them, I'll have to see whether or not I need to add any extra stats of any kind to get them up to 255. Because when I went through Waka's, even though, as I said, even though he has 255, it does vary, I'd say a range of plus or minus 4 or 5, depending on which character it is, for any stat. And I think I'll just stop on this one and pick these up. But I'll leave the other evasion one over there for when I'm making my way up that side. So we'll go in here next instead. And we'll see if she ends up with about the same amount left as Lulu, or if she's ahead a little bit, or behind a little bit. Kind of hard to tell yet with 65 levels to go here. Which way did I want to go here? I guess let's go this way. Too many branches overall. Doesn't make it easy enough to pick a linear path. I'm okay that it is that way. I'm just saying, as far as my routing through here, I don't feel like there's any really great way to do it. You just gotta kind of move around and backtrack a little bit as needed. And I am down to 11 power. We'll see how that works out. Okay. Down to 6. See a couple coming up here at least. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough power to make it out of this circle here. No, it doesn't look like it. Just right here, there's like 4 of them in a row. Okay, well, we're pretty close to an hour anyway. So I think what I'll do is we'll just look at where we're at for Yuna and Lulu, and then we'll start off next time by farming a little bit of power and doing one more Don Tomberry just for good measure to get them enough, and finish out the grids and move on to Jumbo Plan. But yeah, here's Yuna. She does have evasion and magic defense maxed out. Nothing else yet, but yeah, I mean, we still have a few nodes to go through here. Lulu got evasion maxed out, magic defense, but that's it. So we'll see where she's at. They're both at 103 on luck. And Lulu doesn't have any luck left on the board, at least. Is Yuna? There might have been one up over here, but she might have already got it. Yeah, no, I don't think so. So they both finish at 103. And Walk is at 103, so maybe that is a consistent one for me. They might all end up with that. Alright, well anyway, thanks for watching. And if you've been enjoying the content so far, please like, comment, and subscribe or follow. And we'll catch you next time.